Hey YouTube, Saint Frank here. This week's episode of Hobby Talk. I wanted to kind of follow up on talk that we had in January, an episode where I was kind of saying that I thought that 2023 was going to be the year of the TCG, and man, their TCGs are just so huge right now. They are monsters, and I wanted to talk about like so much stuff going on in the world of TCGs. I love TCGs. I don't play a lot of them, but man, I love the cards, and I mean they're super fun to collect, super fun to look at. Um, they're just great. So much stuff is happening this year. Like um, One Piece has kind of come onto the scene. It's been very beloved by the fans of that IP and that game. They continue to do really well, from what I can tell, and are definitely, you know, taking their spot among the big time TCGs that are out there. I think the third set of that is already out in English already. I don't have any. I have some of the packs of the first two sets, but not the third set yet. But it's pretty cool. You can get, the booster packs. I know people have seen them at Targets and stuff. So at least, you know, and if you go online, I'll give a shout out to a gaming store that I get them from, and that is Smoke and Mirrors Hobby. They carry One Piece stuff and a pretty good deal, good prices on that kind of stuff. So One Piece is out, and it's doing very well. You have Magic the Gathering, which is like the granddaddy of all TCGs. They continue to get bigger and bigger, it seems like. I definitely, if you have interest in kind of seeing a lot of the cool Magic the Gathering cards and stuff like that, like content on that, go check out. I'm sure if you've been on YouTube, you've probably heard of this channel before, but Alpha Investments. Great channel for TCG stuff. Lots of good knowledge on Magic the Gathering and kind of like its history. A lot of cool collections that get bought up and stuff like that. Some rare packs getting open. That's really cool. Plus, they just had the Lord of the Rings release that was incredible. The first ever one of one ring card. We're going to talk more about that later in the show. We have a Lord of the Rings update, and then, I mean, of course, Pokemon is gigantic. Just Pokemon is so huge. I will say, excuse me. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I had a garage sale this summer, and I had some Pokemon stuff out there along with some other stuff. But every single, I'm not joking when I say every single person from like the age 25 or under that saw the Pokemon stuff, like their eyes lit up and like they were gobbling it up like, like starved children, eating candy. It was I knew Pokemon was huge. I mean, my kids loved Pokemon when they were growing up, and I love Pokemon. I mean, I wouldn't have this channel. I guarantee you, I wouldn't have this channel if it wasn't for Pokemon, because buying Pokemon cards and grading them and selling them and collecting them over the years, I've paid for pretty much everything in my collection today. But Pokemon is they're a runaway train at this point. And you go to Japan, you cannot find Pokemon anywhere. It is that hot. And so when people get hold of Japanese booster boxes, it's kind of impressive that some of that stuff even gets out of Japan. It is huge over there. You think it's huge here, it's even huger in Japan. And when you see these younger generations just loving Pokemon, you know that Pokemon's going to be around for a while. So Pokemon continues to get huge. I think maybe a little bit of a hesitation for flippers in this new era of Pokemon, the Scarlet and Violet sets. But I think people that like love the game and all that stuff and love opening packs are still enjoying it. It's just, the pull rates got easier, so flippers get upset because they're not pulling, $500 cards out of booster boxes. So Pokemon is not going anywhere. You have new games that have come around this year. One that I really love is Sorcery. I think it's an amazing looking game. I have some Sorcery cards here, but I don't. There's some in the packs in the background. That was a Kickstarter. The alpha boxes are out there. They're blowing up. Like, I'm so glad I got one early, and keeping it sealed, which kind of sucks. I'm waiting for beta to come out where I can actually, open cards and try to learn how to play the game. That is the one TCG game that I do want to learn how to play, because it kind of takes aspects of board games into its TCG, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm a big board game fan. So you have Sorcery coming around and, having a hugely successful debut. And people love the art. The artwork in these cards is just amazing. And it's got like a real old school TCG feel to it. It's just great. So that's been huge. Some stuff that I don't have in my collection is stuff like Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood is like bigger than ever. That's another TCG game, kind of in the Magic the Gathering vein. There's a lot of people that love playing that. The earlier releases of those boxes I was looking into, they're super expensive. It's like, oh my gosh, so much money in those old Flesh and Blood boxes. If you have some tucked away, congratulations. I've been wanting to pick up, some of the more recent ones that are still, they're actually very affordable. Don't know if they're hugely popular, but I do want to just kind of see what it's like opening some packs of that stuff, but I just haven't dipped in yet. Okay, so you have them. You have Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is still a hugely popular franchise. That's one TCG game that you see at Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that. The only thing I haven't really gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they seem like they reprint things a lot, and it confuses me. Like some of these other games are more straightforward with the print runs and the sets and how those. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Will reprint things many, many, many times. It's great for probably people trying to play the game and stuff, but as far as collecting it, I've not wanted to wade into those waters. There are some people that really love collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! No doubt. And believe it or not, I had mentioned my kids, they loved playing Pokemon. They really loved playing Yu-Gi-Oh! They enjoyed playing Yu-Gi-Oh! More than Pokemon even. Okay, so then that'll bring us up to, hey, Metazoo's still around. I think Metazoo's kind of getting buried in all these new, very exciting new TCGs that are coming along. I wouldn't forget about Metazoo. They're still around. I mean, they've actually made it to 6 sets now, I think. Maybe 5. It's 5 or 6. And they're planning on doing a Legacy. They delayed the War set. The War, like there's Native, and then the next set was supposed to be War, and it got delayed for Legacy, which is kind of like a reprint edition from what I can gather of the first 5 sets. So not sure what's going on with Metazoo. I think they're really struggling to stay in the game, but they continue to put out really nice sets and are definitely the most affordable of all TCGs. Like you can buy, I keep an eye on those box prices because I like grading Mezi cards because they look great in slabs, and it's very tempting for me to buy more Mezi boxes to rip open and grade some stuff, but I already have so many. I don't really want to buy more, but the prices on these are like crazy low as they try to find their niche in the TCG world. Now, this just happened this past weekend. The big Disney Lorcana, like their first first place people could buy Lorcana was at this Gen Con in Indianapolis. And Lorcana is very interesting to me. A huge IP. I mean, it's Disney, for crying out loud. You have a built-in IP. The cards look great. They did come out and say they're not doing a first edition. They're going to print to demand. And boy, I hope they're ready for that because the demand for that stuff is crazy. I definitely want some, and I want to open some on the channel, but I am not going to pay what is going to be crazy prices for some of these first booster boxes available. They're not going to be first editions, so if you're patient, just be patient. They're going to print this to the moon, I guarantee you, but it still might be in demand, even printing it to the moon. I mean, there was some scary situations at this Gen Con where people, it was kind of tense. People trying to get their boxes. They were able to get one booster box of Lorcana, and there was a lot more people there that wanted it than they had. So the demand for Lorcana is going to be monstrous. I'm not the biggest Disney fan, but I do love Star Wars and Marvel, and guess what? They're Disney now, but seems like it's more towards like the animated Disney, and the cards still look really cool. I want to get my hands on some, but that's coming around now, and I'm going to keep an eye out to see what happens with those. And you also have Weiss Schwarz. They're another TCG that they got some kind of, I would call it niche sets. But they also have really cool ones I like Marvel and Star Wars. But they're another really strong up and coming TCG. I mean, they've been here for a few years, but yeah, for a fan of TCGs, this is the time to be alive, man. So much out there. Just if you want to dive in some of these, pick some that you think look fun. Don't overspend. Buy a sealed box, put away, open it, have fun with it. It's like you can't go wrong with TCGs right now. Just, they're great. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some that are out there. They're big ones, but I try to touch on most of them. But we did have some Lord of the Rings, the One Ring news. So let's roll that intro for our Lord of the Rings part of this video. Alright, so I didn't think I'd have more Lord of the Rings One Ring news coming up, after it got pulled. But there is new Lord of the Ring One Ring card news. Of course, this is not a real One Ring card. This is it's called a proxy. Really well done proxy. And as you can see, it's serialized 1 of 1. Not the real one, though. The real one got pulled by a guy in Canada, and what's cool about that is he just wasn't some big influencer guy or whatever. It was just some guy that had a normal job. He went to his gaming store, opened a few packs, and pulled it. That is a pretty cool story. I'm glad that it goes to somebody that had a love for the game, you know, and was just opening packs. But he did send it off to get graded. We showed a picture of the graded card. Got a PSA 9. And the story was out once that pop hit the PSA reports and stuff. So we know that it got pulled. The boxes, you can only get it in these collector booster boxes or booster packs. And the prices of the boxes definitely came down a little bit. But they're still pretty expensive boxes. I'm going to keep mine, you know, at this time. It's not going to have the One Ring in them, of course, but there could be other really cool stuff in there. And I really like that set. As far as Magic the Gathering cards, this is by 1,000 times my favorite set of that stuff. So, what the big news is with this guy, Post Malone. As you guys know, there was a outstanding 2 million euro bounty on the One Ring card. It was a gaming store in Spain that put that bounty out there. Now there was other bounties earlier. Even Post Malone put out a bounty at one point for the card. But the biggest one was this gaming store in Spain. So 2 million euros equals out to about $2.4 million in US dollars money. So the guy in Canada that pulled the ring, he somehow got in touch with Post Malone, maybe probably through Twitters or something like that. And Post Malone wanted to meet up with them to check out the card. You know, he wanted to see it. Post Malone is a monstrous, huge Magic the Gathering fan, and he has some really rare stuff apparently in his collection. So they got together. You know, Post Malone and the guy from Canada, and to the guy in Canada's surprise, Post Malone made him an offer on the card. Like, I don't think the guy in Canada thought that Post Malone was going to offer to buy it from him, but one thing led to another, and $2.6 million later, Post Malone now owns the One Ring card. So I just don't think it's ever going to go anywhere after this. I'm pretty sure Post Malone is going to keep that for life, being such a huge fan of the game. But that's pretty cool that we got to see, you know, another chapter written to this story. What I think is the coolest TCG story ever in the One Ring. The fact they even made a one-of-one TCG card blows my mind. But, you know, all this, the bounties, all that, the speculation, that was really fun. I always kind of wish that it hadn't got pulled so soon, but it did. And we got to see the story, and we know where that card is always going to be. And it's going to be with the heavily tattooed Post Malone. All right. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this kind of like a two-part hobby talk video. Lots of TCG stuff happens, so I wanted to try to get it all in one video. Guys, TCGs are awesome. Don't overpay. Anytime a new TCG comes out, there's so much hype. The prices get crazy, and it's only going to get worse, I think, as TCGs are just blowing up like crazy and getting more and more popular. That one nice thing about TCGs is they want people to buy the cards and play the game, so they usually print plenty of it for everyone. And, you know, like for instance, see that this is a Magic the Gathering box. Here's another tip for you people that want to buy TCG stuff, and that is, pay attention the next time there's an Amazon Prime Day. I got this box on Amazon Prime Day for like $100. I think it was like maybe 110. I got this box on Amazon Prime Day. This box right here. This is actually a really cool set too, the Brothers War. Got this collector box. Now I just like the collector booster boxes. They have other types of boxes you can buy. But Amazon Prime Day, super awesome deal. Like way cheaper than even dealers can get those. So, you know, watch for deals. If you want to just see what a TCG game is like, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, buy some MetaZoo booster boxes. You can get like Wilderness boxes or UFO, both awesome sets that you can have a chance of pulling really rare cards for like 40, 50 bucks. I mean, no joke. Like second edition MetaZoo Cryptid Nation booster boxes, I got some for 30 bucks a box. I couldn't believe it. So, you know, there's some steals out there. If you just want to go check out what TCG games are all about and what the cards are all about, how, you know, why people love them so much, just open some packs, have some fun. Just don't leverage yourself, of course, and you know, just have fun with it. It's something that's not going away anytime soon. All right, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos later.
While I take plots and I cannot lie, you are the brothers I can't deny.